I would like to thank FlowFuse for hosting this webinar. So welcome and thank you everyone for joining us in this webinar for today's session. I'll be sharing to you and discussing to you how we have used Node-RED and FlowFuse for IT, OT integration and automation in our container terminal port industry and also multi-purpose port. So before we start off, I'm Raymond Macaisa, Design Engineering Senior Manager, Red Sea Gateway Terminal. So I started my career back in 2001 when I joined Siemens in IT department, then joined back in 2015 in Red Sea Gateway Terminal. In Red Sea Gateway Terminal, I've started using Node-RED back in 2017. So using Node-RED and FlowFuse, we were able to use Node-RED and FlowFuse for doing our automated gates, RFID tractor tracking, weighbridges, and 3D digital twin system. So all of this we will try to share to you on how we do it using Node-RED and FlowFuse. Okay. So for today's topic, I will be discussing on those production projects. Meaning to say this is not a proof of concept or proof of value usage or use case of Node-RED. These are real-time production use of Node-RED in our container terminal port. So first things that the topics that I'll be discussing first is how we use the UHF RFID in tracking our terminal tractors. So later in our demo, I will also be showing you this one, then how we done the integration of weighbridges and integrating it to our terminal operating system. Next, and I will also be trying to give you on how we installed FlowFuse in the on-premise instance to have it more redundant and high availability. Then we will also be in this webinar, I'll be discussing on its Node-RED capabilities when it comes to serial port communication, automation, and using dashboard. Then later on, we will try to give you an idea on data integration. How can you use Node-RED and FlowFuse for SNMPs, APIs, SQLs, and unified workflows? So then CD deployment strategies and reliable OT automation. So as what Indira said, so if you have any questions, we'll try to answer it along the way. Okay? So starting off, so what is Node-RED? So Node-RED is a visual tool for flow-based programming. So usually, I have my first usage of Node-RED is back in 2017. So I installed Node-RED in a Raspberry Pi. So I have used that one because of its low code. So it means to say low code. It means to say it's visual. As you can see in the slides, this is Node-RED. So it's just nodes. Then you just drag those nodes, then wire it up. That's how you do a programming. So this is a typical flow of Node-RED. So it's really perfect for IoT, automation, and rapid prototyping. So when we say it's low code, so it's easy to program for data collection. And for me, because I'm not a pure coder, I'm not really a programmer, so I'm an engineer. So as I know only minimal, I know how to code, but not that hard rock knows really using coding. So Node-RED really helps, okay, like us engineers to do a programming because we're visual, especially me, I'm visual. So it's really easy for me to use Node-RED because it's low code. So how I have used Node-RED in integrating IoT devices to lots of things, let's say database, APIs, you name it, SNMP. Then I'll be showing to you later a demo out of it. Okay? Then next, what is FlowFuse? So FlowFuse is is a platform. If I'm not mistaken, it was introduced back in 2021 because back in 2017, when I'm using Node-REDs, I'm installing a lot of Node-REDs instances in our environment. So to manage all of these instances, maybe I have 5, 6 instances. So I'm doing it manually. So I need to come in each Node-REDs, okay, do a development out of it, coding out of it one by one. Then I will do also a manual versioning, manual backup. So with Node-RED FlowFuse, it now becomes easy for you to manage all those Node-RED instances. So you can manage those Node-RED instances, even though it's installed in on-premise, on your devices, or on the cloud. So you can scale, you can secure it, and you can also do a collaboration. So there's a team collaboration tools, including version history, snapshots, and role-based access control for your DevOps pipeline support. So later in our demo, we will try to show you on the usage of how we have used FlowFuse itself. Then moving on, so this is our Red Sea Gateway Terminal journey. So it means to say journey because from Node-RED to FlowFuse, because we have started using Node-RED back in 2017. So it's still pre-version 1. Okay. So first thing, what RSGT. So RSGT, where I work, so we are a flagship container terminal located at Jeddah Islamic Port here in Saudi Arabia. So I'm streaming here now. I'm based here in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So streaming here in Saudi Arabia. So we are a container terminal port. So our port features state-of-the-art automation and digital integration. So we have efficient and high volume container handling and smart terminal operations. Okay. So we started, so we have 4 projects which we have used Node-RED and FlowFuse, which we deployed in our company. So first of this is our previous is an automated gate system back in 2017 until if I'm not mistaken, until 2023, 2024. Then we also started on using UHF RFID, terminal tractor and tracking 2017. Then this year and last year, we now have also used FlowFuse in our weighbridge integration and 3D digital twin, connected twin. So if you can see in the slides, in the photos, you can see all those implementation that we have done. So the first part here is the RFID. Then next is our automated gate, our 3D digital twin, and the weighbridge integration and RFID in our site in Bangladesh. Okay. So Red Sea Gateway Terminal. So RSGT we have implemented into 3 sites, the Node-RED and FlowFuse. So we have a Jeddah Container Terminal here in Saudi Arabia, wherein we implemented the RFID and automated gates. Next is just this year, or we expanded our operations. We are now handling the multipurpose terminal here in Jeddah. So we have implemented weighbridge and a plan of, let's say, automating also its gates. Then last year, we have also made an operation. RSGT have an operation now in Patenga Container Terminal. It's a container terminal in Bangladesh. So in that one, we just deployed FlowFuse and we have used RFID, automated gate, and weighbridge. So at least this is just a brief overview of all those production projects that we have used Node-RED and FlowFuse. So as you can see, it's a lot. Okay, but at the later part of this session, Okay, so we will be doing a demo, okay, right behind me. Okay, so later in the demo, so I have set up a demo, okay, a demo setup wherein I will show you on how we have integrated the RFID and some kind of automated gates. For the weighbridge, it will be the same as integrating to RFID. It will be quite to get some weighbridge in the demo, so it's quite big, okay, but the same setup on how we get using the RFID, it's the same thing as we used in the weighbridge. Okay. So one of the first project, okay, so I'll be now discussing on those projects one by one on how we have set it up. So one of the first project, second project that we have deployed using Node-RED. So this is back in 2017 and 2019. So it's an automated gate management system. So what did we do here? So we have automated the processing of the trucks that's coming in and out of our container terminals. So in and out of our port. So meaning to say we're a container terminal port. So container terminals, we process containers. So trucks comes in to drop off and pick up a container. Before, we're doing it manually. So each lanes have its own gate operators. Then the gate operators is manually putting on the license plate and the container and entering it in our terminal operating system, typing it, okay, processing it, opening the gates manually. So what we have done is we created our own self-service kiosk, as you can see on top, back in 2019. So we have used Node-RED as a platform for the integration and OT integration of this self-service kiosk. So as you can see on the photo, so this is, I created this one. So it's the self-service kiosk. So components inside it is almost the same as in the demo what we have here. So the Node-RED itself is composed, and the kiosk itself is composed of industrial PC where we installed the Node-RED. Then it's the one who is controlling the barcode. We're integrated to a barcode reader to read the appointments, RFID reader for those trucks that have RFID tags. Then we also put on ultrasonic sensor to sense if the truck is there. And it also controls to automate the boom barrier and the traffic light. So I have a short video here. So at least you can see it in action. So this is our previous gate. Okay, so we have a new gate, but this is the previous gate what we have using Node-RED. So this is the time lapse. So it's a time lapse, so it's not really this fast. So as you can see, truck comes in and out. Okay. In and out. So what it does is the truck comes in, then the kiosk detects that there's a truck, then the Node-RED itself will trigger the cameras to capture the license plate and the container codes if they have a container. Okay, so Node-RED will say capture, okay, then do an OCR of the license plate. Afterwards, once they get those information, truck license plate, send this data to our terminal operating system, process it, do the processing. After that one, the TOS will now send and process it and send the receipt to a terminal receipt printer. And the truck driver will just get it, the receipt, and the kiosk will now automatically open the barrier. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so as you can see it here, so it's fully automated. Okay, so that is our gate out.
Raymond.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
We have a question from Ruben.
Yeah, sure.
It says we are using an NFC reader. But from time to time, Node-RED loses connection. Only fix is to restart the Node-RED instance. Did you have these issues too? If so, how did you fix this?
Oh, so it depends on how you connect the NFC. Okay, so for example, if your NFC, if you connect, it depends on the interface itself. For example, are you connecting it through USB as a human interface device, or are you connecting it as a serial port? Okay, so for us, we didn't encounter this one because most of the time, for example, what I have here is a barcode reader, okay, and an RFID. Okay, these two devices we have used USB to serial, but its connection is via serial port. So if you're having some disconnection, so you just need to, for example, our experience maybe sometimes it lose connection. You need to check on your hardware. Maybe it's the USB or the serial connection itself. Sometimes the industrial PC changes its device naming. Okay, so it's all depends on how you connect the NFC itself. But NFC, I don't have that much experience. So because there's a lot of things that you can, how you will interface the NFC itself. Okay. Is there any more questions? So
Yes, there are more questions, but Ruben said that they were using USB connected OmniKey 5022.
Yeah, there's a questions. Okay.
Okay, you want to read the rest of the questions?
Okay. I cannot. Questions? I'll try.
I can read them for you. Don't
Okay,
worry
sure.
about it. This one is from Michael. He said, what is the service that you use for OCR on the license plate and container code? Is it from third-party software?
From?
Third-party software?
No. Yes. So our OCR engine is we are using an OCR engine itself. So I'm not sure if it's safe to name here. So we have one company who specializes on OCR engine. So it's an SDK wherein we got in the same company the license plate engine and the container code engine. So what we do is we just using Node-RED and FlowFuse, okay, and integrated to our cameras, okay. It's the FlowFuse who said that capturing those photos and sending it to our OCR engine, okay. Once it send the photos to the OCR engine, it has an API. So the FlowFuse Node-RED will get that data via API and post it to our, as you can see now, into our into the FlowFuse flow. And sometimes this is the dashboard. Okay. So it depends. So it's up to you on which OCR engine you would like to use, just as long as it has an API. So FlowFuse is very good in connecting to APIs. Okay, HTTP, or maybe your OCR engine is connecting via WebSocket. It's also good, or you want to connect via message queues. So it's possible. So it depends on what OCR engine. But for us, we're using an OCR engine, an SDK, sending the photos, and via web service API.
Okay, we have one more. Thank you for answering those. From Florian, can you give some details about the IPC and its required processing power and memory? And thank you very much.
Oh, Node-RED is very lightweight. Just imagine that back in 2017, it's running on Raspberry Pi. Okay, so it all depends on it will run definitely Node-REDs. Okay, so it all depends on how much complex is your flow. But I didn't have any experience at all that the FlowFuse or the Node-RED crashes. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's very lightweight. Okay, so it even runs on a Raspberry Pi on single board computers, right? Okay, so moving on, this is our gate console. So we have also created a gate console for our automated gates. So in the automated gates, so now before the gate operators is in each lane, now they are now centralized, then managing all of it via camera, centralized CCTV camera. Then they just have a dashboard, which we use the Node-RED dashboard to monitor the gate transactions and if there's any OCR exceptions. And in the same dashboard, they are controlling the traffic light and the gate barriers, which in the demo, we will try also to demonstrate on how to do that one. Then we're also able to get the gate status. So we're able to see also if the printer is offline and online using ping and SNMP, as you can see here. Then we can also detect, we made it as an OCR dashboard, the accuracy of the OCR and how much time the truck is spending in front of the kiosk because of the using a ultrasonic sensor. Okay. So this is the architecture of it, which I'll be also trying to discuss in the demo. Okay, so what we have in the gates, I tried to replicate it later in the demo. Next, we have used RFID, UHF RFIDs in tracking our trucks and tractors. So the first use case of this one, because we want to monitor the trucks that comes in and out of our mobile scanners, or in Bangladesh, we want to monitor the trucks that goes in and out between ports. So because before RFID, there's just one person in front of at the end of the gates of the lanes, just saying his only job is to call the operations control. Okay, TT number passed by TT144. Okay, that's his job. So we have replaced that one now. So we have just tagged all of our trucks with in Bangladesh, we have used this UHF RFID windshield tag. And here in Saudi Arabia, we have installed this industrial type RFID tags, which we installed in each tag, in each trucks. Okay, so each tag have its own unique identifier, which we called EPC. Then we created a database that this tag is installed and connected to this terminal tractor. Okay, so it's just a matter of this tag. Okay, using a Node-RED, query the database to which tag this to which truck this tag is assigned to. Then we have done the automation integration to our terminal operating system. So it's fully integrated. So it's up to you if you want to integrate into your ERP, to your TOS, or to your database. Later, yes, I will show to you how it's done. Okay, then which data you can use to do this one, right? So is there any questions with regards to RFID tractor tracking? So next, weighbridge integration. So it's the same thing, same idea on how we have used UHF RFIDs. So our UHF RFIDs, we connected it via serial. So then when we expanded our operations in Bangladesh and taking over a multipurpose terminal, then there is a lot of weighbridge that we need to integrate to. So it's not only the weighbridge is around 8, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and around more than 10 in multipurpose terminal. But the challenge there is not all of the weighbridge is coming from the same vendor. Okay, different vendors. But luckily, all of these weighbridges have serial interface. The only challenge with the serial interface, okay, it's sending out different data. Okay, so that's one of the strengths of FlowFuse and Node-RED, wherein you can really easily integrate to any serial port, read it out, those serial data, okay? Then you can delay the messages, like this one, delay the messages, and you do the parsing because, for example, some weighbridge is putting 0010 kg, okay? Sometimes it's inverted. Sometimes the data coming from the serial port is ASCII or buffer. Okay, so Node-RED and FlowFuse, using that one, we're able to parse those data. We're really able to get the results of the weighbridge itself. Okay, so for example, 10 kg, we can do a parsing, put a node there, then we can get the exact data coming from the weighbridge. And using FlowFuse and Node-RED, it has a lot of nodes wherein you can integrate to, as said, via MQTT. You send the data from the MQTT database, API. So we have experienced all of it on integrating on all those systems. So here we can have, for example, in the weighbridge, we have some requirements to have a user input. Okay, so there's a weighbridge here, kilogram. So it's getting the weighbridge data coming from the weighbridge console itself. Then the user still needs to put on some data to it to print out a form and hand it over to the truck drivers. And this data must be submitted to a database or integrated to your terminal operating system or ERP. So with Node-RED and FlowFuse, it becomes easy now. Okay, then how it becomes easy? As I said in the demo, we will provide you on how easy it is to integrate these OT devices to your IT applications. Okay. Next will be, is our last one of the wherein we really try to use Node-RED and its power itself on data integration, because with Node-RED, FlowFuse, you can, even though it's different format, it's coming from different protocol, or you need to do computation, you need to, in any storage, you can actually visualize it and interact with it. So this is a sample of it on how we have used Node-RED in our 3D digital twin, connected twin. So we have integrated the 3D digital twin. So it means to say our container terminal itself, right? So what we have done, what you can see in the physical world of our container terminal, we make it digital. We make it in a 3D manner, wherein what you can see outside the window of our port, you can see it in the screen as a 3D digital twin. Okay, but to do this one, you need a lot of data, and this data is coming from different storage, okay, or different sources. So one sample is, for example, we get our container data from our TOS database. Then we were also able to get our network device status via SNMP. So we're able also to get the status of our Wi-Fi outdoor via SNMP. Then we're able to connect to the API web service of our terminal operating system to get the crane location status. Then to get the GPS tracking, we need to get it from via API. Then vessel information from Google. So just imagine all those data coming from different sources. We're able to centralize all of it and have it feed to our 3D digital twin. So, but the visualization is not Node-RED. It's made out of 3JS. Okay. So this is how we integrate it. So different sources, we're able to do an ETL, then send it via WebSocket to our 3JS to really visualize. So with 3D digital twin, so we are using it for monitoring. Okay, so how many vessels are on board, which block is already have a lot of trucks, where is our where are the bottlenecks in real time. So right now our 3D digital twin is mostly real time. It's not yet predictive and prescriptive, but we're going on that AI thing. But for now it's mostly in real time. So I'll just show it to you before we go on to the demo on our 3D digital twin. So this is welcome to Jeddah Container Terminal. So this is our container terminal in Jeddah. So this already recorded, as you can see. So we have all the containers are there. You can see which ship-to-shore crane is operating, how many vessels we have, which blocks are busy, where is the internal, then external trucks. Okay, so we have made this one where in the back end is the Node-RED and FlowFuse. Right? Now, I think, do you have any questions? Because next we'll now be going on our demo.
Yes, there are some
Yes.
questions for you, Raymond. So first one was, how does Node-RED contribute to bridging the gap between IT and OT in container terminals?
Again, sorry.
How does Node-RED contribute to bridging the gap between IT and OT in container terminals?
Okay, so because in container terminals, we have, for example, as I've said, we have RFIDs. So we are able now to track our terminal tractors. Okay, then those information coming from OT RFID, we're able to post it to our IT systems, which is our terminal operating system, because actually our OT and IT is two different network. So OT, let's say weighbridges, okay, is we integrate the weighbridge itself, get its data, then going to, let's say, to your ERP or to our terminal operating system. In a container terminal, we're using a terminal operating system. Okay, so to get those data, we have used, as I said, RFID, then we have used OCR systems, and we also use, for example, barcodes to get some appointment data to process the gate, then integrate to our IT system, which is the terminal operating system, or to your HR system, right? But since we're container terminal, most of our integration is in our terminal operating system itself. Okay.
Okay. Next one from Lucas. They said it can be answered later, but since we're answering questions, for your dashboarding needs, did you explore alternative solutions at some point like Grafana, but made you stick to Node-RED dashboard?
Okay, so we because Node-RED is dashboard for us is fit for purpose. It's more than enough for us. Okay, at least because it's also low code. Okay, because we can also put Grafana to it, right? To do the visualizations. But what we are doing right now is we're making as much as possible. Our architecture is making it more pragmatic, because using the dashboard itself coming from FlowFuse is more than enough. It's more than enough for us for our current use. So before Node-RED, it's quite limiting. Now with FlowFuse, we're able now also to get an authentication, okay, of our users using FlowFuse authentication. Okay, so it's a use to use case. So if you want to use Grafana to have that stack on top of Node-RED, no problem. Just like what we are doing now, we have used 3JS as a stack on top of Node-RED itself for our 3D digital twin. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Now, next one. What device do you usually use to install and operate Node-RED FlowFuse? As you said, using Raspberry Pi. Is it durable enough?
Okay. So right now we're in industry. So we are using back in 2017, we're using Raspberry Pi, but it works. It lasts for 3 years. It doesn't break, but in a container terminal, we have upgraded into, because in the market right now there's a lot of industrial type of PC, which is Raspberry Pi based. So right now, like this one, so it's a Raspberry Pi based industrial PC. So as much as possible, we are trying to use Raspberry Pi based machines or any Linux. But for us, what we are doing is, in this demo, I will show you our usual practice in a container in Jeddah. But for example, if there's a supply of this one, definitely we will use this one. But depending on the country, okay, so we're using Raspberry Pi, but it does work. Yep.
Okay. Now, one from Jose. On the weighbridge integration, do you use the serial import? And if so, do you have satisfactory results in serial connection stability? Or are you using the serial control node? If the latter, did it solve the issues you were facing?
Yes, so I'm using the serial node. Okay, so there are type of using RS-232 or RS-485, but most of the weighbridge is using RS-232. So far, we don't have any problems using serial connectivity and serial nodes. So because you can delay, because there are some weighbridge console that is sending data that's very, very fast. So using a Node-RED delay, you can delay that one. So it will not overwhelm your flow. Okay. But for us, based on our experience on the weighbridge, it's quite stable. The serial connectivity, not much of a issue for now for our serial connection. Right now, we are using USB to serial, which we also use in our RFID. So it's been there since 2017. We're using that kind of setup. Then it's quite stable for us, especially in our RFIDs. So it's the same setup in doing the weighbridge integration.
Okay, we have more questions, but I'm gonna leave this for the end to give you enough time to do the demo.
Yeah, okay,
please.
sure. Okay, so for this demo, okay, so this is the demo setup right behind me. So I'll just stop sharing so you can see the demo setup for today. So in this demo, this is same setup as almost the same setup as we have used in our self-service kiosk in our automated gate management system. So what we have now is we have an industrial PC wherein it's a Raspberry Pi base wherein we installed the FlowFuse agent. Then connected to it is a module, digital input output module. The digital input output module, the digital input controls gets the data of coming from our ultrasonic sensor. Then the digital output is connected to a relay. So the relay is the one who's connecting the gate, barrier, and the traffic light. Right? Then we have a barcode reader, which is connected via USB. This barcode is connected in a serial emulation because if you connect a USB barcode reader, sometimes it acts as a keyboard or a mouse, HID. But for this one, we have used this one, it acts as a serial. Okay. Then we have a UHF RFID. So this is the usual UHF RFID wherein we use in the gates, for example, in your car park, in any parking. So the antenna and the reader itself is integrated because there are some UHF RFIDs wherein the antenna and the readers are different, because sometimes the reader you can install 2 antennas, but for us, we're always using an integrated UHF RFID readers and antennas. So these are old ones. So, but we have in our experience, we use 3 types of RFID readers. So it's up to you on how you can configure it. But at the end of the day, most of the UHF RFID readers are sending out and reading UHF RFID tags. It's EPC code. Okay. Now, I also set up for the demo is a thermal receipt printer. Okay, it's an ESC POS. So this one, then I have another Raspberry Pi here. So it's we have an RGB hat to control the RGB matrix. So RGB matrix is just to display welcome to interact with the driver itself. So to check their container number or their license plate, we will display it here. So it's the same thing as we have installed in the kiosk, just to display the information, what's happening, for example, welcome, processing, things like that. So RGB matrix. Okay. Now, I'll just share my screen again. So now we have also, I also set up 2 FlowFuse servers installed in, it's a virtual. So I installed 3 instances of FlowFuse. So what will happen is the kiosk itself is the what do you call this? The edge devices. But in our usual practice, what we usually do, because OT and IT must be secured, so we just would like to have the IT integration limited to only limited servers that can connect directly securely to our internal network. So we have set up, usually we set up a centralized Node-RED or FlowFuse agents to servers, okay, on premise, that will act as our integration server. So this Raspberry Pi, which is in the industrial PC, which is in the gate, only sending out all of this data going to the integration server, centralized integration server, which is also we have installed FlowFuse agent, a message broker, and Keep Alive D. So for this one, so for on-premise FlowFuse, one of the technique what we have done is for high availability and redundancy, because we have centralized the integration. Okay, most of our integration flows is integrated into 2 servers. Okay, that acts as a backup and active backup setup. Then we just use Keep Alive. Okay, it's a Linux service wherein it controls the active standby settings of 2 servers. So if one of the server is down, the other one will take over. Okay, so vice versa. Then we're just connecting via floating IP address. So that's how we have done the redundancy of our integration server FlowFuse. Then because of FlowFuse, it's now easier, because instead of using the FlowFuse pipelines, so we have a development or staging server. Then what we have to do is just deploying. We're grouping these 2 servers as a group. So when we deploy it, it will deploy the same flows in these 2 servers. So these 2 servers are really identical, having identical views because of grouping and because of the pipeline of the FlowFuse. Okay, so let's go now on some. So just a quick demo flow. So what we will do is the truck comes in. The trucks comes within UHF RFID tag. It will be read by the RFID readers to get these RFID tags. Then once he stopped on the kiosk, okay, it will be detected by the ultrasonic sensor. That's the time he will check to which truck the UHF RFID is assigned to, querying to a database. Then the truck driver will scan his appointment via QR code to the barcode reader, which is also integrated to the RSLPC. Then afterwards, it will query that this appointment in which container. Then afterwards, we will do a print out ticket via thermal printer. Okay, then control the relays to open the barriers and the traffic light. And the truck leaves and reset everything again for the next truck. So that's the demo flow that we are doing right now. Okay, so I'll now go on to the FlowFuse itself. As I've said, so we have 4 remote instances. I have the kiosk, the dashboard 1, dashboard 2, and dashboard 3 are our on-premise FlowFuse agents. Okay, let me just show you first on how we program this part. Okay, that the kiosk part. So one by one. So RFID reader. So this flow is the one who's reading the RFID reader. So the RFID is connected via serial. So we have used a serial node. Okay, a serial node. In this serial node, we just need to set up the serial port. So the serial port name. So the serial port name, you get it from your industrial PC. How the serial port is named. So what is the device name of that serial port? So for this demo, it was named /dev/TTY USB 0. This one is connected via dev TTY USB 0. That's the serial port name. Next, you need to set up the baud rate. Now, for the RFID readers, when connecting via serial, just make sure that you connect the serial, okay, the same baud rate as the one that you are setting here. Okay, so then make sure that your connections from transmit receive is the same. All right, then update, done. Then let's see, it's connected now. Then we'll put a debug node here to check if it's reading the RFID tag. Deploy. Then I have an RFID here. Then that's it. It's reading this RFID tag, as you can see here. Okay. But for this one, the RFID reader is sending out additional characters on top of the EPC. So if you're using an RFID, it always read a 24-bit EPC data. Use that one. So for that one, I have done a function to remove those extra characters just to get only the EPC data. Okay, and that's it. That is the 24-bit EPC data of UHF RFID. Afterwards, okay, I set it to flow RFID in our context data. Now, I want to send this data to our centralized dashboard once there's a truck comes in. So there's a ready-made digital input for that one, which is this one, wherein it will trigger and send this data to our centralized integration server via message queue. Okay, so if I set this one, it will send, as you can see, it will trigger and send this data to our integration server. Now, let's go on to our integration server. Remote instance. Then open editor. So in this demo, what we are doing now is I've used a Postgres database as our centralized database to wherein the tag and the appointment is saved. Okay. So right now, so the RFID details is sent through this flow. Okay. Then I build an SQL query to check the RFID to which track it is assigned. This is a Postgres node. Then what it will do now is it will now send the data to display it here in the RGB matrix. Okay, then save it temporarily. So let's try it now. So I'll scan it. It turns green, the RFID reader. Then I will close this one. Then it will. Then there you have it. DF5678. It displays in the RGB matrix. Now it's the same concept what we have done in barcode readers. Okay, same setup, but it will not trigger. Same setup as the RFID. We're connected it via serial port. So I will scan now this appointment. And there you have it, printing, and it printed this ticket. So this is the barcode barrier and thermal print. Then it triggers the barrier, the relay to open the barrier in our traffic light. So how we have done the printing of the kiosk is we have used an ESC POS print. So ESC POS is a type of coding, especially for thermal printers. So there's ZPL, but for this one, so all the data, we have a function, okay? All this function, send it via buffer or via buffer to a TCP port connection. So this is the IP address of the thermal receipt printer. Then it's connected. Then it will now try to do all of this command and try to print it out like this one. So each one of it is a command. Okay, so ESC POS. So it's short for Epson standard something for POS. Right? So do you have questions? Then for the dashboard, so that's it. So for example, if you want to create a dashboard, we can create a dashboard wherein we can just put on text input. Okay. Then put it here. Here, I'll just name it as page kiosk 1 truck. Then done, deploy. Then that should be it. Then it will display here the truck numbers. Let's see. Yeah, there ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. As easy as that one. That's why we are using Node-RED dashboard because it's quite easy. Drag and drop, then it will display here automatically. Okay. Then, for example, if you want to control the barrier itself, okay, it's just a matter of dragging a button. Okay. Then connecting it to our kiosk itself. Open editor. Then it's loading. Then I'll just get on. So the barrier is listening in kiosk 1 barrier and kiosk 1 traffic. Okay, so kiosk 1 barrier, kiosk 1 traffic. Then I'll just put an MQTT out. Then the server is 204. The topic is kiosk 1/barrier. And that's it. Then I will use this button for, let's say, here, name it barrier, then barrier, done, deploy. Then it should be, I think I close it, then it will be there. So once, okay. come out. Okay. So barrier. Just one barrier done. Sorry, I didn't deploy it. My mistake. Then it's there. So if you click this one, it will turn on, it will trigger the relay and open the barrier. As you can see, I think then there's a light here. So it's, and that's it.
Well, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. We have a few questions and only 3 minutes left, so I'm gonna try to go quickly through them.
Okay.
Okay, first one, what is the challenge in Node-RED or FlowFuse? Is it in learning, upgrading, or high efficiency from your perspective as an expert?
Oh, okay. The challenge is actually, as I'm not a coder itself, so one of the challenge before without FlowFuse, no? Because without FlowFuse before, it's a challenge on managing a number of Node-RED instances. If you have a FlowFuse, just imagine one by one, you need to go in each of your Node-RED instances. Okay, then deploy. Then, for example, if you want to back it up, you need to import and export. Then, if you want to deploy a new flow, then it will not get the credentials. Then you need to type in all of the credentials again. So that is the challenge. If you don't have a FlowFuse on top of Node-RED, if you have a lot of Node-RED instances without FlowFuse, that will be your challenge itself. But when it comes to the what do you call this, performance, it's quite based on my experience, it's quite lightweight. So for us, for example, worst comes to worst, it's a network issue. Okay, but sometimes if all else fails for IT, we said restart, but it's very, very fast, especially in the kiosk itself. We have a kiosk that runs on Windows. It's stopped. If a kiosk is based on Windows, it's you have a lot of things to do. But a Node-RED based Debian Linux based kiosk, okay, you just need to, it's just an appliance, turn it off, turn it on, it will run. The kiosk that we have created, if it hangs, just restart it, it will run. That's it.
Okay. Okay, next one. We have 6 more, so I need
Okay.
us to be quicker.
Sure.
Do you have any broker MQTT like HiveMQ?
What again?
Do you have any broker MQTT like HiveMQ?
No, we're either using the Node-RED broker, the FlowFuse broker, or an on-premise MQTT. I'm not using, we still didn't try to use HiveMQ or adding or other messaging queue for now. But probably in the future. But for now, we're using the brokers that comes FlowFuse or a local MQTT broker.
Okay, thank you. Next one. I think you already answered something like this, but is hardware from OnLogic a brand? Raymond?
Yes.
Is hardware from OnLogic? I'm guessing OnLogic is a brand. Yeah, they're asking you if they are branded on Logic.
Which one? This hardware?
It doesn't specify.
Some of it's branded. Most of it's branded.
But the brand is OnLogic. Have you heard of that brand before?
OnLogic, no.
Okay.
OnLogic, sorry, no.
Okay, next one. How scalable is this Node-RED setup? Can it handle hundreds of concurrent sensors or API connections?
Hundreds.
Hundreds, yeah.
Oh, I've never experienced having hundreds in a single flow before, but it's a lot, hundreds of APIs. No, I've never experienced it before. The maximum that I have is 20 in a single device or single server, but hundreds, I didn't still were able to try it out into hundreds. Okay.
I mean, We have
maybe
customers that handle hundreds of Node-RED instances, for example.
Instances, but not APIs. You
Yeah.
said, I think
Or
APIs. I did.
sensors.
Yes. No, in a single FlowFuse instance, I've not no experience on that one.
Okay, then does digital twin integration truly work in real time? How reliable is it in reflecting actual device conditions, considering that data from IT, OT systems could potentially be manipulated?
Oh, okay. So this one, it's coming directly from the server itself. Okay, directly. So there's not much manipulation we are doing. So if it's coming from the source, then definitely we're just doing some transformation to it and sending it to our 3JS visualization. Okay, so it's the truth for us. Okay, so it's up to you to the flow if you would like to. It all depends also in the source itself, if I'm not mistaken. So if your source is not reliable, then definitely your real-time digital twin is also not reliable, because it's all about the source itself. So you just need to check if it's on time and if it's the correct source that you're getting.
Okay, we have two more.
Yeah.
Why did you choose FlowFuse on-premise over FlowFuse Cloud?
Okay, so it depends. So it depends on where is our IT system, because our terminal operating system is on-premise. Okay, but for example, in multipurpose, most of our servers is on cloud. So that's why we are using the FlowFuse Cloud and cloud instances, FlowFuse hosted instances. So it depends on where are you integrating. So for example, you're integrating to an on-premise, then it's very easy. Just go on-premise, your Node-REDs or your FlowFuse instance. If your IT systems is on the cloud, go for the cloud. So it's all depends on your backend IT systems. Where is it? Is it on-premise or on the cloud? So it's up to you. Okay, because it will be easier for you for your network connectivity and security.
Okay, and last one. Do you have any strategy for testing flows, like automated tests?
No, we don't have an automated test. It's all manual. So with FlowFuse, where you can have this pipeline. So you can create an instance for your development, staging, and production. Okay, so we're not yet into the automated testing itself. Okay, so because mostly it's quite a challenge, because we need to connect to OT systems. So OT systems, sometimes you cannot automate it because it's physical.
Okay, I think that will be it.
Okay.
And we are 5 minutes over time.
Yes, so we're trying to.
Just questions, just too many questions. It was too interesting,
Yes.
Raymond. Okay, so a short survey will appear as soon as we close the session. It only takes a minute, and your feedback really helps us shape future webinars. Big thanks to Raymond for the great session, and thanks again to all of you for joining us today. If you'd like to talk about how FlowFuse can power your flows, let us know in the survey, or just head to flowfuse.com and click that bright blue button in the top right. We can also walk you through a demo. I just drop the links to both in the chat to make them easier to find. Thanks again, and until the next deployment.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.